HealingMotors.com. But remember, these offers end October 31st.
This is the morning sports desk for Thursday, October 26th. Another doubleheader of high school sports last night, Corey. This time in high school volleyball. Where'd you go?
Where did I go, CJ? I woke up this morning officially. It just caught up to me. This morning was the morning. I was like, oh man, this has been, and it wasn't, I don't think so much the running on a Tuesday and a Wednesday night. I just woke up and immediately was like, all right, tonight and tomorrow night too. Here we go. I was in Henning last night for Section 6A volleyball. The 3-seeded Henning Hornets hosted the 6-seed New York Mills Eagles, and we got an upset in the opening round of the 6A tournament. The Eagles end up winning in 3 sets, and just kind of a fascinating match, CJ. The biggest run either team made was within like the first, let's say, 15 total points scored in that opening set.
Really?
Eagles got up kind of big. Henning was able to chip their way back into it. And we're talking about like basically an entire match that was played within 2 points of each other all night until one team would decide to win it, basically. And the advantage went to New York Mills. They were just constantly on top. And every time Henning would try to make a little push, you could feel it in the stands. You could feel that student section start to rile up, and the parent section start to rile up, the community section. And then Henning would serve. This is a chance to maybe take the lead for the first time in that set. And New York Mills would just pound it away somewhere else. And it was immediately like a little more air deflated out of the balloon. And it happened all night long. It was close, and it was competitive, and it was there for the taking for both teams. And New York Mills was the one who grabbed it. They just refused to ever let Henning take the lead. I think the Hornets led once by a point, twice by a point in the second set. And that was it. It was just like, all right, we'll get the point back and we'll tie it up, or we'll take the lead right back and we'll serve and we'll lead by 1 or 2. And they just New York Mills refused to relinquish their lead. They played quite well. So an upset in the first round of that 6A tournament, Eagles over the Hornets.
Yeah, and I was able to catch a little bit of that last set as I was driving on the way home from my game yesterday. And yeah, I mean, exactly. Like, it felt like every single time in that final set, it looked like, okay, Henning's going to chip away. Like, feels like they're at least going to get a set back here. And New York Mills did a good job of, like you talked about, just every single time that there was momentum for Henning, just to kind of stall it and to make a good play and to just kind of deflate the crowd, the team, whatever. And that's high school playoffs. That's why you play the games, because stuff like this happens. Obviously, they've played each other a lot over the years. So,
right.
One of the games like this is bound to happen for either side. But, it's high school volleyball. It's playoffs, first round. There's a lot of stuff that can happen. And as evidenced by last night.
You had a match also?
Yeah. So, I said anything can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not in a 3-14 matchup like that.
Yeah, pretty much.
We previewed the game yesterday.
True.
We talked about how Crookston only had 2 wins coming into the year, both of them against Monoma and Waban. And this game was in and out in 50 minutes. Wadena Deer Creek took care of business. They got up big in the first couple sets. They won set number 2, 25-10. And then in that third and final set, Wadena Deer Creek won it 25-4. So everything was up and up for Wadena Deer Creek. They move on. They advance. They will play Dilworth Glendon Felton on Friday from the WDC Middle High School Gymnasium. 7:00 first serve is the scheduled time there. And the interesting part about that, Corey, is Dilworth Glendon Felton and Wadena Deer Creek went to 5 sets back in like September 4th. Wolverines won, and they were able to get the Wolverines won the final 2 sets in that match to come from behind and win the game. So should be a good one on Friday night.
We have more playoff volleyball. As a matter of fact, I'm going to run through the entirety of our broadcast schedule the rest of the week because last night's games kind of were able to sort everything out that we have planned through the weekend. We'll start with playoff volleyball on the calendar here tonight. Staples Motley Cardinals will host the Pillager Huskies, and that is in the 6AA bracket. Staples Motley is the 5 seed. Pillager Huskies are the 12 seed, so they seed everybody top to bottom in that section. Staples Motley Cardinals are 17-8-1 on the year, and they finished 3-1 in Mid-State Conference play. On their home floor are 6-2 on the season. This is opening round action of the 6AA tournament, but these two teams did play once during the regular season. We'll get to that here in a second because the Pillager Huskies come into this match at 10-17 overall. They finished 0-7 in Park Region Conference play and were 2-7 away from their home floor. These two teams played in Staples back on the 3rd of October. It was a 3-1 victory in favor of the Cardinals. So this, again, the opening round of the 6AA tournament. Just the immediate connection on the bracket. This is a 5-12 matchup. The winner will play on Tuesday against the winner of 4-seeded Melrose area or 13-seed Malacca. So that is our plan tonight. It's a 6:45 pregame with a 7 o'clock first serve. You can listen on AM 1430 and 98.5 FM, The Fan. Now, we also now have volleyball, CJ, on the schedule for tomorrow, Friday, the 27th of October, on KW80, 8AA volleyball, DGF at Wadena Deer Creek, and on the Superstation K106, 5A volleyball, Bertha Hewitt at Sabika. Both of those will have 7 o'clock first serves and 6:45 pregames. On Saturday, it's back to football on KW80,
6AA, Wadena Deer Creek at Osakis, a 1:40 pregame and a 2 o'clock kickoff. And on the fan, more 6AA football, the other half bracket, Staples Motley at Pillager, with a 1:40 pregame and a 2 o'clock kickoff. So we're done. We've got it all set up and scheduled for the week. And just because it's Thursday, it only means we're halfway through our
broadcast and playoff sports for the week.
Pretty much. And, it's the fun part of the year. Obviously, there's a lot of games going on. And interestingly enough, we're really putting that focus on the Pillager-Staples-Motley rivalry this week.
Yeah, we got it tonight and then on Saturday. And I would imagine it's going to be fairly contentious in that gymnasium tonight.
Yeah.
All leading up to, I don't know if you know this, but this is volleyball tonight, which means the student section is going to be football players. And they played a pretty nice game earlier in the season, those football teams did.
Mm-hmm.
And I suspect this one's going to be a bit of a, bash.
That's one way to put it. Yeah.
On Saturday. So it's going to be, they're going to get after it tonight. I'm really looking forward to that atmosphere.
Should be a pretty good one from the Staples Motley gym there. Corey, state tennis is happening. What do you got a recap for us here?
Well, I have the singles and doubles tournaments begins today at the state tennis tournament. And I wanted to recognize out of the Class 8 tournament, we do have a doubles team from around the area. Lauren Rutten and Ronnie Noska of Staples Motley participating. The Class 2A singles tournament, Lila Collins of Brainerd participating. And the Class 2A doubles tournament, we have two area doubles teams, Madison Jensen and Elena Peterson of Bemidji, and Claire Erdahl and Erica Folden of Brainerd, all taking part in that. So good luck to those singles and doubles at the state tennis tournament. Of course, today there's a section cross country happening around the region. Who's going to the state tournament there? We will find out. You combine all of that high school stuff, CJ, with the Timberwolves, the Wild, the World Series, college and pro football all happening.
Mm-hmm.
maybe the greatest singular time of the year for sports.
Yeah, everything's really coming to a head, isn't it?
It's awesome.
It's a great time. Everywhere you go, you have something to keep you distracted. So that's the fun part of this time of year. Timberwolves, Wolves back.
Wolves back to losing, it looks like.
Well,
97-94 last night in Toronto, a loss.
Yeah, actually, interestingly enough, there was a note put on by the Timberwolves play-by-play guy, Alan Horton, before the game. And he said, the Wolves have not won in Toronto, Corey, since when?
2017.
2004.
Ish.
Yeah. So somebody said, he said it's been since 2004, an 18-year kind of streak.
Weird.
And somebody said, if I had a nickel for how many Minnesota sports teams had a chance to break an 18-year-old curse this year, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened more than once, right?
It's weird that it exists at all.
Yeah.
That's strange because it's not like Toronto's been a juggernaut in that time.
No, they've been a competitive, but the Wolves also.
Notably, Timberwolves haven't either.
No. Timberwolves have been far worse in the last 20 years than the Raptors. Considerably. Anyway, I mean, I don't know. I didn't get to watch a ton of the game, obviously, because I had to do volleyball last night. I caught a little bit of the fourth quarter. I think basically the Wolves took some weird shots and they didn't go down. And I think it's game 1. So, in the overreaction panic meter, it's not a great sign, and also under the Chris Finch era, the Wolves have never really started the seasons off by winning the first 5. Usually it's kind of like a weird 3-3.
Yeah, right.
You'll beat a team. You're like, all right, that's the playoff team we saw. And then they'll lose to the Magic. And you're like, oh, what the heck was that?
Very frustrating losses for this team, historically speaking.
They usually start out 500, and then they kind of all of a sudden pick themselves up a little bit into December and January. And then in February, March, they kind of go on a little run, and then they kind of not go bad, but they cool off a little bit towards playoffs. That's been the last couple of years of Timberwolves basketball. So we'll see.
I got 11 text messages from a friend last night about the Timberwolves game.
Yeah.
And it was... he was fired up out of the gate, kind of joking, but kind of serious.
Right.
He's gotten to the point at the start of every single sports season. He does it every year. He overreacts. It is his nature to overreact. Somebody calls him out on it. He kind of says he's joking. He knows what he's doing. It's he knows that he's sending it, knowing that he's overreacting. But then it's immediately followed up with, he sent the first text message. I responded and then immediately sent 10 more text messages about all the things that they were doing wrong, his assessment is spot on. It's just that he applies it to the entire, there's at this point 81 and a half basketball games left in the regular season.
Yeah.
But I do want to read, I'm going to quote, I did not get his permission to do this, but I'm going to quote the final text he sent.
Okay.
About the Timberwolves game last night.
Put it out on the World Wide Web.
I'm going to put it out there for the world. I apologize to my friend Nathan that I'm doing this to you. I this is a shoot first, ask for forgiveness later kind of a situation. Upset about the Timberwolves loss, he ends it with a 2-word text that says, "I'm sad." One game in, and he's got him pinned.
Timberwolves basketball.
We back, baby.
Timberwolves basketball. Experience the magic.
Gosh, well, good try to them. I guess it was a fun year. I guess there's always next year begins today for Timberwolves basketball.
They'll come back and play. I don't know who they play next, but they'll get a win. I think they play the Heat at some point in
Saturday they open up the Target Center against Miami. I will say this: there's one thing in particular to watch about the Timberwolves that is relevant, and that is once again the Towns Gobert combination.
Right.
We didn't get to see it effectively or really a season ago because of Towns' injury. So they're going to spend between now and Christmas trying to sort that out.
Right.
It could be a little bit of a rocky road if it's not a good mix. We'll learn by then.
Yeah, we'll know. As is the case, as long as the Wolves hover around 500 or they don't sink themselves in the early part of this year. Christmas is like that barrier to really tell if a team is legit or not.
Correct.
So, wait till then. It's like you don't judge an NFL team until like week 7 because the first month of the season is just a wash anyways.
Yeah, or you do what Vikings fans have done this year, and that is judge the team every single week.
It's a new judgment every week. That's the fun part. 1 week it's tank. 1 week it's fire everybody. 1 week it's we're back. The next week it's Super Bowl contenders. And, who's to say what the reaction will be like on Sunday after they go to Lambeau?
I'll be honest with you. After that win on Monday night, the division feels like it's in play.
I mean, honestly, and if the Vikings win and they go 4-4, I'm going to start to get irrational again.
Yep.
And
I'm on. My toes are hanging over the edge of the deep end of the pool. I'm ready.
Make no mistake about it. I'm ready to get hurt again.
I'm ready. All right, we'll see ya.
This has been the Morning Sports Desk for Thursday, October 26th. It's 7:31 on KWAD. Here's MNN News.
Minnesota News Network, I'm Tasha Regal. Officials at the Minnesota Board of Animal Health say they're on guard after confirmation of 6 new